It's 2:46 a.m. The temperature outside is cold. Colder than it should be for July. The wind's picking up again. You can hear it if you go near the cracks in the windows. It's dead quiet otherwise. No cars, no planes, no buzz from the streetlights. This is Nate Rivers. I'm still here, still broadcasting. If you're hearing this, drop your coordinates, or just your city. Let us know who's still alive out there. I'm in the basement of the old KSRC building just off Route 9, right outside of Harrisburg. We've got emergency power running through a couple of solar panels and a backup battery rigged together with more hope than skill. I don't know how long it'll last. Last night, it cut out for about 40 minutes. Thought that was it. No one's answering on the emergency bands anymore. I've tried every hour on the hour. No AA's loop is just static. I haven't heard anything new from any government station in, I don't know, 3 days? 4? It's easy to lose time. I don't know who's still out there. I don't know how many people are still even alive. But if you're listening to this, if this signal's still getting picked up on that rusted little radio you found in your garage, you're not alone. I'm still here, and I'm not giving up. Let's talk about what happened. It didn't start with fire from the sky. It wasn't like the movies. No mushroom cloud, no alien mothership, no alarms. It started with flickers. We started losing signal from places. First, it was just background stuff. Satellite radio glitches, weather radar not updating. They said it was solar interference. Then it was drones dropping from the sky. Passenger planes with full systems suddenly losing control. Some rerouted, some didn't make it. That's when people got scared. But not scared enough. Then it got weird. I got a call from my buddy Lou, who used to work logistics with FEMA. He retired years ago, bought a boat in Delaware. He said their internal servers started showing ghost signals. Data was coming in from nodes that hadn't been online in years. But the locations didn't make sense. Some were in national parks, underwater, even one deep in the Nevada desert where there's supposed to be nothing. And I know, it sounds crazy, right? I thought he was drunk, but Lou wasn't the kind of guy to make stuff up. Then came the blackouts. Rolling at first, unexplained. Whole counties dark. And not just lights, phones, satellites, cars, everything digital. We thought it was a cyber attack. At least that's what the news was guessing. But then New York went dark, full dark, and it didn't come back. The last live feed I saw from there was chaos. People running through the streets, some barely dressed, screaming, not at each other, but at something off camera. Some were just standing still, crying, or mumbling. One guy just stared up, not blinking. Then static. That was the last we heard from the East Coast. Phones started ringing, but no one was on the other end. Just this low, guttural sound, like something breathing, not human, just heavy and slow and angry. Then the hallucinations started. People were seeing shapes that weren't there, not just once or twice, hundreds, thousands. Shared hallucinations, same figures, same timing. I got one caller on the air, Danny from Michigan. He said he saw a figure crawling along the ceiling of his house. Its limbs were backwards. Its eyes glowed red like hot coals. His voice cracked when he said it spoke his name in a voice that sounded like his dead mother. Then he screamed, and the line cut out. No one's heard from Danny since. What we're dealing with, it's not just a virus, not war, not weather. It's something else. The signals, we've been tracking them. Some people still have shortwave gear that's analog enough to cut through whatever's blanketing the skies. They're hearing numbers stations again, but not the old Cold War kind. These are newer. Low tones, coded patterns, and voices that sound wrong, like someone trying to speak but not understanding the words. One guy said he recorded one of the voices and ran it through an oscilloscope. He said the waveform looked like a shape, like a drawing, a spiral with hooks. When he played it backwards, his dog howled non-stop for 6 minutes, then dropped dead. I don't know if that part's true, but I believe he saw something. We've been calling them demons, not because we know what they are, but because it feels right. They don't follow the rules of physics. They don't care about time or space. They appear and vanish. Sometimes you feel them before you see them. Sometimes you smell something burning, even when nothing's on fire. I saw one 2 days ago. I was out gathering batteries from an old grocery store. The aisles were mostly stripped. Cans, dry stuff, all gone. But someone had left a pack of D cells taped behind a register. I grabbed them and heard this low creaking, like the air itself was bending. Then it stepped out from the frozen section. It was tall, way too tall, skin like tree bark, but it shimmered. No face, just a jagged split where the mouth should be. It didn't move, it just stared, or I think it did. And then, it whispered. My name. I didn't tell it to anyone. I didn't broadcast it. But it knew. I ran. Didn't stop until my lungs burned. I've locked every door since then. Boarded the windows. I don't go out unless I absolutely have to. Some people are still surviving in little pockets. I got a call from Regina in Flagstaff last night. She and her neighbors have a wood stove and a few goats. She says the mountains have been quiet, but they saw one of those things in the trees. It didn't come close. Just watched. She said her kids started drawing it in charcoal the next day. With too many arms, I told her to burn that drawing. She said she already did. If you're still listening out there, I need you to stay sharp. These things, whatever they are, they feed off confusion, off fear. Some say they come out more at night. Some say they're drawn to digital signals. I don't know. But if you see static in your mirrors or shadows that don't belong, don't ignore it. And for God's sake, don't answer if you hear your dead loved one's voice. It's not them. They're using that against us. I'll be back on at dawn, if the power holds. If you've got info, sightings, anything, transmit on 105.3 FM or channel 19 CB if you're mobile. This is Nate Rivers, still breathing, still human. Stay in the light. It's 5:11 a.m. I couldn't sleep. Not that I do much anymore. Every time I close my eyes, I hear the clicking. It's faint, but it's always there, like fingernails on glass, just under the edge of silence. I thought it was in my head at first, but then I put my mic near the wall and turned the gain up. It's real. It's there, coming from outside the north-facing wall. I moved the backup transmitter to the south end of the room, just to be safe. The weirdest thing is, the clicking gets louder when I mention them. I'm going to stop using the word demons for now. I don't know what to call them, but every time I do, the clicking spikes. I don't want to draw them here. Earlier, I tried getting a weather update from the old NOAA band. Just static. Then a burst. Half a second of something like a voice, garbled, and then silence again. I recorded it, played it back a few times, slowed it down. The voice is saying one word, over and over. Open. That's it. Open. I don't know what it means. A door? A signal? Is it a command? A warning? I think we triggered something. Somewhere. I want to share something a listener sent me a couple nights ago. Came through the old fax machine. Yeah, I know, ancient. But that's the only thing still working around here. Analog wins again. This is from someone named Elena in Helena, Montana. She says she used to be a technician for an underground observatory project. Something to do with neutrinos. Way above my head. But the part that matters is this. They picked up a spike in neutrino emissions about 5 days before the event. She said it wasn't just unusual. It was impossible. The amount of energy required to cause that kind of spike doesn't exist on Earth. They thought it was a glitch. She said it was like something was pushing through the fabric of space, like something opened a hole and looked through. And the emissions, they weren't random. They had a rhythm. 4 pulses. Then silence. Then 4 again. Repeating. She said the pattern matched one found in certain rituals recorded in ancient Mesopotamian texts. Her boss told her to delete the logs and go home. That night, the entire facility went dark. No one's heard from any of them since. Elena escaped. Went off-grid. She's been listening to this broadcast ever since. So, maybe this wasn't random. Maybe it was invited. Or maybe it was always coming. We just built the antenna big enough for it to hear us. God. Okay. I know how that sounds. Believe me, if you'd told me this 6 months ago, I'd have laughed you out of the room. I was just a guy who played old rock records and read the weather. I didn't sign up to report on the end of the world. But now I don't know what else to believe. We've got another message. Shortwave. A woman named Brooke from Tulsa. I'll try to read it the way she wrote it. Hi, Nate. I don't know if this'll get through. The sky here turned red last night. Not like a sunset. Like actual blood. People screamed. One guy drove his truck straight into a phone pole. The lights inside every house flickered the same way. On, off, then stayed off. I saw someone, or something, walking down the middle of the street. Tall, black, thin arms that dragged behind it like ropes. It didn't touch anyone, but where it passed, all the streetlights shattered. It looked right at me. Even though I was upstairs behind the blinds. And Nate, I swear on my life, it smiled. I haven't seen my boyfriend since. I think he's gone. That was it. I'm sorry, Brooke. I don't know what to tell you except... Hang on. If anyone else is in Tulsa and still out there, let us know. Even if you've just got your voice. Use a mirror. Morse code. Anything. You're not alone. I've been getting more and more of these sightings. The descriptions are similar, but not identical. Some tall and thin. Some crawling. Some, like the one Danny saw, move upside down. Some never move at all. But they're always wrong. Always shaped like a nightmare half remembered. And they always smile. I'm going to talk about something I haven't mentioned yet. Something personal. I've been having dreams. And I know dreams don't mean anything. But these aren't normal. They feel more like memories. Except they're not mine. In them, I see a field of bones. Endless. Not animal bones. Not human. Something else. And a tower. Black and crooked like it's made of smoke. There are voices chanting, but I can't understand them. Every time I get close to the tower, I wake up, sweating, heart racing. Last night, I saw someone standing in the corner of my room when I opened my eyes. Just standing there. Not moving. Not breathing. When I flipped the light on, it was gone. I haven't slept since, Okay, let's focus. I want to give some practical tips. I know people out there still need real advice. Number 1, if you're still near a city, get out. The cities are death traps. Too many blind corners, too many windows, too many echo chambers for them to crawl through. Number 2, analog is king. Digital gear seems to draw them. Phones, smart TVs, even LED clocks. I don't know why, but we've lost too many people right after their screens lit up. Use candles, wind-up flashlights, manual radios. Number 3, salt. I know how that sounds, but I've had 3 different people from 3 different parts of the country tell me salt lines kept the things out. Could be superstition, could be real. At this point, try everything. Number 4, do not listen if the radio starts speaking in a voice you recognize that shouldn't be on the air. That includes mine. If this voice starts telling you to open something, turn it off. Just shut it down. All right, I need to eat something. Rations are getting low. I'm down to 1 can of beans and some stale crackers. I've been boiling rainwater for the last few days, hoping for more rain. The streams nearby? Contaminated. Animals are avoiding them. That's all I need to know. If anyone out there has access to a water filter or instructions to build one from scratch, send them over. I'll broadcast it next hour. To the guy from Tennessee who left a voice message about the underground shelter, please call back. Your coordinates were garbled. I've got more messages here, more updates. I'll be back after a short break, if the battery holds. This is Nate Rivers, still alive, still with you. Hold the line. It's 6:32 a.m. Power's holding for now. Batteries at 42%. Enough to keep the transmitter alive for another couple hours. I'll have to shut down after that, just to give it time to charge when the sun's up. If the clouds don't get in the way again. Just saw movement outside. Not them, not yet. A person. First human I've seen in over 5 days. He was across the street, wearing a hood, limping. Might have had a backpack. He didn't stop. Didn't even look toward the building. Just kept walking west. I didn't call out. I thought about it. I really did. But something stopped me. Not fear. Instinct. People aren't always safe anymore. I've had 2 stories come in just this morning about survivors turning on each other. One from a woman named Kara, up in South Dakota. She'd been sheltering with her sister and a group of neighbors. They had food, water, a fireplace. Things were okay. Then the youngest guy, barely 20, started acting strange. He stopped eating, just stared at the fire. Said he could hear voices in the smoke. They thought it was stress, sleep deprivation. Then one night, he tried to open the door. Said someone was calling his name outside. Her sister stopped him. He hit her with a hammer. Killed her. They threw him out the next morning. She said he didn't resist. Just walked out into the snow barefoot, smiling. She hasn't seen him since. I don't know what's real anymore. I don't know if these things are changing us, or if we were always like this, just waiting for the right crack in the world to let it out. You ever sit and wonder if maybe we were the thing that needed to be locked up all along? Anyway, I wanted to tell you what I heard yesterday. A signal. Not mine, not static. A full-blown, clean signal coming from somewhere just north of Atlanta. Emergency tone first, then a live voice. Male, calm, American accent. He said, "This is Station Apex, autonomous relay, secure zone broadcasting on 4.91 megahertz shortwave. If you're hearing this, make your way to Ridgepoint Sector E. Safe passage protocols apply. Repeat. Safe passage protocols apply. Then it looped. I tried tracing it, but it's hard. I don't have the gear, but it's real. I recorded it. I'll play it soon. Maybe next hour. If anyone in Georgia is hearing this, try tuning in. Maybe there's a chance. Maybe someone got their act together and is building something again. Something real. Something human. God, I hope so. I got a weird message from someone calling himself Ash. No location given. He didn't write much. Just this. They feed on time, not meat. Time. Moments. Regret. That's why they mimic the dead. It's not cruelty. It's hunger. I don't know what to do with that, but it stuck with me. Time. I used to waste so much of it. Sitting in traffic, flipping channels, arguing about things that don't matter now. I'd give anything just to go back to one of those boring, normal, stupid mornings. Sitting at the diner with my phone out, complaining about the coffee being cold. Now I'd kill for that coffee. Hell, I'd kill for the smell of burnt toast and the sound of some kid crying because their cereal got soggy. Funny what becomes precious when the world breaks. I want to read a letter. This came through the shortwave band just before I went on air. Nate, I don't know if you remember me, but I used to call in during your midnight rock block back in 2017. Name's Bill. I was the guy always requesting old Judas Priest. Anyway, I'm still alive. Got my wife with me. She's tough. We've got a little setup out here near Lake Charles. Not perfect, but we're hanging on. Last night, we lit a fire and played that cassette you mailed me back then. The mix one. For When the Grid Dies. I laughed, Nate. I laughed so hard I cried. You knew. Anyway, thanks. We're still out here. We're listening. Keep going. I do remember you, Bill. You always called after 2 beers, pretending you weren't drunk. Your voice cracked every time you said, "Hell bent for leather." Thanks for staying human. There are pockets of sanity left. Someone near Boise said their neighborhood has formed a co-op. They meet twice a week. Everyone brings something. Food, tools, stories. They've got a wall covered in hand-drawn maps of local supplies, sightings, weather patterns. They even rigged up a bike-powered radio to talk to passing travelers. They don't let anyone in who's glowing. That's their rule. I didn't ask. You know what gives me chills? The fact that most of the birds are gone. Used to be, you'd hear them in the morning. That soft rustle of wings, the chirps, the fluttering. Now, nothing. The air's empty, not quiet. Just wrong. Except for the crows. They're still around. Watching. Someone out there told me the crows started following one of the creatures, just trailing behind it like little black shadows. Not attacking. Not fleeing. Just watching. Like they know something. If anyone knows more about that, call in. Message me. I want to understand. We need knowledge. It's all we've got now. That and each other. Okay. I need to stop here for a bit. Let the batteries rest. I'm going to shut the transmitter down for a short window. Try to catch some rest with one eye open. If you're still out there, still breathing, still sane, send something. Your voice, your story, a warning, a hope, anything. I'll be back on at 7:30, if I can. This is Nate Rivers. Don't open the door unless you're sure it's human. And even then, be sure it's not smiling. It's 7:37 a.m. The sky's doing that thing again. Orange and pink, but not like sunrise. It's deeper, thicker, like the color got spilled over the clouds and someone forgot to wipe it up. The light has a weight to it now, like it presses down on everything. I turned the transmitter back on 5 minutes ago. Took longer than usual to boot up. For a second, I thought the whole system bricked. Would have had to start cranking the generator manually again. And I'm running low on biofuel. Heard a voice while the transmitter was powering up. I swear I did. It came through the static, just for a second. My own voice, whispering something I couldn't understand. I'm not joking. I backed the gain down, unplugged and replugged the mic. Nothing. I know I'm not crazy. But this place, this silence, this world, it's making all of us question reality a little more every day. Got an update from someone just west of Kansas City. Name's Peter. He's living in an old train car. Said it's buried under some brush behind a scrapyard. Best hiding spot I've heard in a while. Peter said he saw something last night that bent the world. That's how he put it. He said the stars over his part of the sky started shifting. Not like the earth rotating. They moved fast. Like someone pulling pins out of a map and sliding them around. And the clouds above his camp. They were going in the opposite direction. Then, the air got thick. He couldn't breathe right. He said it felt like he was underwater. He climbed into the train car and sealed the door. Said the temperature dropped by 20 degrees in under a minute. Frost formed on the inside of the glass. He said he heard the sound of screaming, but it was coming from inside his own head. He thought he was dying, but then it passed. Just gone. Like nothing had happened. When he opened the door, the frost was gone. The stars were back where they were supposed to be. Time glitch? Reality tear? I don't know. But he's not the first person to mention this sort of thing. I got another report from someone in Vermont. Rachel. She said her watch stopped at 4:12 a.m. 4 days ago and hasn't ticked since. No matter what batteries she puts in it. Every digital device in her house, same thing. All locked at 4:12 a.m. That's the same time my backup clock down here reset itself last week. I hadn't mentioned that yet. Maybe it means something. Maybe 4:12 was the moment. I don't know. If you've noticed anything strange about time, send a message. Any pattern might help. We're flying blind here. Let me talk about the cities for a minute. I've been avoiding this. I got a message from someone who just got out of Chicago. It's gone. Not physically, but spiritually, emotionally, whatever you want to call it. The city's dead, still standing, but it's not human anymore. She said the people who didn't leave are hollow. They walk around without reacting. They don't talk. They don't eat. They just exist. Barefoot, empty-eyed. Some scratch symbols into walls, spirals, grids, teeth. She watched a man stand in the middle of a 6-lane intersection for 3 hours, arms outstretched. Just standing there in the cold. Then he screamed, loud enough that she said it made her ears bleed. Then he collapsed and vanished. Literally. 1 second he was there, the next, gone. No trace. She ran, took what she could, hitchhiked out on an old diesel truck that still ran. She didn't give me her name. But if you're listening, I believe you, and I'm glad you made it out. If you're anywhere near a major city and can still move, get out. Get as far from the skylines as you can. They're magnets, beacons, maybe traps. I wish I had better news. I really do. I sit here in this room, the light flickering overhead, cables buzzing like angry flies, and I just keep thinking, how much longer do we have? There's no cavalry coming, no magic vaccine, no president with a press conference, no military rolling in with clean water and a plan. There's just us. I've started keeping a list on the wall, a kind of roll call. Everyone who writes in, calls, sends a signal. I mark down the name, the location, the last thing they said. It helps me remember that the world isn't completely gone. Not yet. Today I added 5 names. Yesterday I added 12. 3 days ago it was 26. I try not to think about what that means. There was a man named Howard who used to call once a week before the blackout. He was in Tampa. Always signed off with, "Still kickin', Nate." Haven't heard from him in 8 days. Still got his name on the wall. I'm not taking it down. Not until I know. Let me tell you something else I've been thinking about. What if the world didn't end all at once? What if this is what it feels like when reality unravels slow, like a thread pulled from a sweater? First it's small, glitches, flickers, power surges. Then it spreads, faster, deeper. Soon the whole world is just fraying. And these things, these invaders, entities, whatever, they're not here to destroy us. They're just here to walk through the cracks. We're not a target. We're a doorway, and someone opened it. All right, I'm rambling again. Sorry. Let's shift to something useful. If you're listening and have access to basic supplies, here's a list you need to keep close. Manual can opener. Wind-up flashlight. Candle stubs. Wax can be remelted. Salt. A lot of salt. Old transistor radios. AM/FM bands. Maps. Paper ones. Circle fresh water sources. Bicycles. No engines. No fuel needed. Wool blankets. Stay warm, not synthetic. If you can trade, offer knowledge, not just items. People are starting to value skills more than things. If you know how to purify water without chemicals, or how to grow potatoes in a bucket, or how to find true north by starlight, you are gold. If you've got kids with you, teach them. Not just how to survive, how to stay sane, how to recognize when something isn't real, when a voice in the dark sounds too sweet, when a shadow is thicker than it should be, how to say no to the smiling thing that looks like their grandmother. I'm gonna stop here. Need to swap out the solar inverter and run diagnostics. Last time I didn't, the whole thing crashed during broadcast. Don't want to risk it. If you're hearing this, I hope you're okay. This is Nate Rivers, still watching the sky, still writing names on the wall, still hoping I don't run out of room. It's 9:03 a.m. Still here. Tried catching some sleep during the last break. No luck. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the hallway. Not this hallway, the one in my dream. It's always the same. Long, narrow, fluorescent lights flickering overhead, the kind you'd see in a hospital or a school basement. And I'm walking toward a door at the end that never gets closer. Just stays there, like the air between us is stretching. Sometimes I hear something behind me, sometimes I don't. But the worst part is, I always wake up standing. Not in bed, just standing by the mic, breathing heavy like I'd been running, like something followed me back. I've started locking the studio door now. Doesn't do much good if the thing's already inside your head. I want to talk about the messages again. There's a pattern forming. It's in the drawings people are sending me. Scanned, faxed, some even mailed before the collapse. A spiral. Always the spiral. Sometimes sharp, like a blade. Sometimes soft and smeared like it was drawn in blood or charcoal. Kids are drawing it too. Over and over. One message from a teacher near Boulder said her students were carving it into their desks before she closed the school down. Said one of them said the spiral was calling the night to eat the day. She didn't know what that meant. Neither do I. But I looked through the old logs. There's something else. A cult. Back in the late 90s, there was a fringe group based in northern Utah. Never got national attention. Local papers said they were harmless, just mountain people, weird beliefs, big on isolation. Called themselves the Spiral Mouth. I kid you not. They believed the world was only ever a dream inside the mouth of a sleeping god. And when that god yawned, reality would fold. You can laugh if you want. I did. But then I found a scan of one of their newsletters. Same symbol. Same spiral. And below it, a phrase. He rises in hunger. He speaks in static. So yeah, laugh if you want. I don't anymore. More sightings coming in from all over now. Not just big cities. Small towns, farm roads, even open water. One guy, sounded young, maybe 19, called in from a sailboat somewhere off the coast of Maine. Said he and his dad went out fishing before the event and decided not to come back in when the reports started getting weird. They stayed out past radio range, ate fish, boiled seawater, watched the sky. He said it started at night. The stars shifted, same as what Peter saw. But then the ocean itself started glowing, blue at first, then green. He said it was like the water was alive. Then they saw something rise up in the distance. Just a shape, not a ship. Too big. No lights. Just shape. The dad stared at it for too long. By morning, he was gone. The kid said he looked away for 1 second, turned back, and the deck was empty. No splash. No sound. Nothing. He's still drifting. Still listening. He didn't ask for help, just wanted someone to know he was real. If you're hearing this, kid, I believe you. Don't look at the lights again. All right, let's shift gears. I've started writing down rules, not laws, just things we've figured out, things that help. Rule 1. Trust your instincts. If it feels wrong, it is. Don't rationalize the wrongness. Don't talk yourself out of it. Gut feelings are survival now. Rule 2. Don't follow voices, especially if they sound like someone you love, especially if they call your name. Rule 3. No mirrors after dark. I can't explain this one, but everyone who's broken it has either disappeared or gone completely off the rails. Rule 4. Stay away from empty churches. That one's new. I'll tell you why in a second. I got a report from a guy named Jordan, somewhere outside Nashville. Said he'd been hiding out in an old wooden chapel, middle of nowhere. No power, just candles and a gas heater. He said he started hearing hymns around midnight. At first he thought it was the wind, but then he recognized the tune. Nearer, my God, to thee. No one else was supposed to be there. He checked the door. Locked. Windows too. Then he saw the pews. They were full. People. Just sitting there. Heads bowed. Not moving. No faces. He ran. Didn't stop till he collapsed in a field 5 miles away. He called me crying. He was a pastor before all this. Said he'd never felt evil like that. So yeah, no churches after dark. I'll keep adding to the list. If you've got rules from your area, send them in. Let's keep each other alive. Switching to a short bulletin now. Fresh messages from survivors. Lucia from Portland says the air smells metallic every time one of them is near. Pay attention to that. Mark in Nebraska saw one turn into smoke and slither under a locked door. They're not physical like us. Walls mean nothing. Jasmine from outside Reno has been keeping journals and hiding them in metal boxes near mile markers. If you find one, read it. She says she's mapping safe paths based on dreams. And this one's from Sam in Jacksonville. He says he found a baby crying in the woods, alone, wrapped in something that looked like fabric, but wasn't fabric. He picked it up, and it vanished. Don't follow the crying. Ever. One last thing before I sign off for this hour. I want to talk about memory. Mine's slipping. Names, dates, places. I write things down now. Everything. Because sometimes when I wake up, the writing's the only thing that convinces me this is real, that I'm not still dreaming in that hallway. If you're feeling the same, start a journal. Doesn't have to be pretty. Doesn't even have to make sense. Just get it out of your head and into the world. Anchor it down. That's how we hold on. By remembering that we were here, that we mattered, that we fought. I'll be back at 10, battery willing. Until then, stay inside. Watch the windows. Don't listen to your name. This is Nate Rivers. Still scribbling on the walls. Still counting hours. Still refusing to disappear. It's 10:02 a.m. The static's worse today. I don't mean on the line. I mean in the air. I stepped outside for a second to check the panels. Needed to brush off some ash. Maybe pollen. Hard to tell these days. But as soon as I opened the door, I heard it. That low, almost musical buzz. Like 1,000 televisions on the wrong channel, humming in unison, buried deep in the wind. It wasn't coming from one place. It was everywhere. In the trees, the ground, my own chest. I held my breath without meaning to. It's not normal. It's not natural. It's something else. You remember when your ears would ring in school? That high-pitched whine out of nowhere? And your friends would joke, "Someone's talking about you?" Now, I think something's listening. I shut the door, bolted it, came back down here. Haven't left since. I've got one bar left on the main battery. Should last another 40 minutes or so. Might have to cut the next broadcast short, just to be safe. I don't want to leave anyone in the dark, but I've learned that silence can save your life too. Got another update from Elena, the one from Montana, the scientist who worked the neutrino arrays. She's moving north. Said her underground shelter is compromised. Her words, not mine. She didn't explain what that meant, just said the walls weren't keeping it out anymore. Then she said this: they're not breaching in. They're waking up inside. I asked her what that meant. The signal cut out. I'm trying to make sense of that. How do you wake up inside something? Unless you were always there? I don't know it. I don't know anything anymore. I've been thinking about my brother. He died 6 years ago. Motorcycle accident. Straight road, no traffic, clear weather, just gone. I didn't get to say goodbye. That's what eats me. But last night, I heard his voice, crystal clear. He said my name. Just once. From the far corner of the room, right behind the filing cabinet. I didn't move, didn't even breathe, because I knew it wasn't him. He never said my name like that. There was something stretched in the sound, like someone trying to imitate him without really knowing what love sounds like. It wasn't cruel, it was empty. And that's what scared me the most. I turned the light on and it was gone. Just air and dust. That's what they do, these things. These entities. They don't just attack. They replace. They mimic. They get close enough to make you want to believe. And then they twist it. Stay sharp. Stay skeptical. Even with your own memories. All right, switching to open channel now. Got a few shortwave bursts I transcribed earlier. These came in scattered over the last 24 hours. Do not sleep under open sky. They ride the stars now. If you see the red window, do not look through it. It's not your world on the other side. Salt circles help, but they don't last forever. Reapply. There's still light in the north. Keep moving. Look for the broken sign. That last one's been repeating every 3 hours. Different voices. Same phrase. I don't know what it means, but I've written it down on the studio wall in case it matters later. There's talk of something called the pulse. I've heard the word 6 times now, all from different sources. One man, he was out in New Mexico, said his whole flock of goats dropped dead the moment the pulse hit. No sound, no flash, just a ripple in the ground. The animals froze, then collapsed. He said after that, the air started tasting like copper. Someone else said, the pulse is what opens the gateways. Not doors like we think, more like tears. Places where the skin between worlds thins out and lets things through. One guy from Colorado called it a scar in reality. He said he saw one open above a lake. The water boiled instantly. The fish floated up cooked. And then, something stepped out of the steam. He didn't describe what. He just started crying and hung up. I saved the voicemail. I listen to it sometimes, just to remind myself that this isn't a story. That we're not imagining this. That real people are seeing real things and trying their best to hold on to their minds. Speaking of which, I need to talk about hallucinations. Not the kind from fever or dehydration. I mean shared ones. I've had 6 different people tell me they saw the same woman. Late 20s, pale skin, black hair tied in a knot, wearing a white dress soaked from the waist down. Each one described her the same way. Same height, same face. She appears in mirrors, in dreams, in reflections on water. She smiles, and then she starts whispering things only they would know. Deep things. Private. One man said she told him the name of his childhood dog. Another said she sang the lullaby his mother used to hum before she died. Then, always the same sentence. Let me in. Don't. Just don't. Break the mirror, spill the water, walk away. This isn't a ghost story. It's worse. I want to read something from a boy named Theo. He's 12. Found an old CB in his uncle's garage. Wrote a letter, and his mother helped him send it in. Hi. My name is Theo. I live near a mountain. It's really quiet here. My dad is gone, but my mom says we'll see him again one day. I don't know if she means heaven or tomorrow, but I think she means tomorrow. There are no more cartoons, but I draw my own. Yesterday, we saw a shadow pass over the field. It didn't have wings, but it flew. I was scared, but then Mom said, fear is what feeds them. So I tried not to be scared. I pretended it was a big balloon. It didn't come back. Thank you for talking on the radio. It helps. Even if we don't make it, it helps. That wrecked me. Theo, if you're out there, you are the bravest voice I've heard in weeks. Keep drawing. Keep pretending. You're doing more than you know. Okay, I need to recharge the panel now. Sun's out. Weak, but enough. I'll come back on in 1 hour. If you've got anything, sightings, stories, theories, send them. Write it down. Speak it out. Broadcast it. We don't have newspapers anymore. We don't have the web. This is it. This is the archive of what happened, and I swear, I won't stop telling the truth. This is Nate Rivers. Still signal-bound, still scribbling, still listening. Don't trust the voice behind the door. It's 11:11 a.m. I didn't plan to come back on at exactly that time. Just happened. Make of that what you want. The sun's out, but the shadows feel heavier today. Like they've got weight. I stepped outside just now to shift the panel and caught my reflection in the studio window. Only it didn't move like me. There was maybe half a second of lag. I turned my head, and it just hung there. Then it caught up. Don't know if I imagined that. Don't know if I care anymore. We're past the point of rational. I've been thinking about all the people who didn't make it to the broadcast. All the ones who went quiet. There's a guy. Used to call in every week from El Paso. Armando. Big voice. Always had jokes, even when things started to fall apart. Last I heard, he was helping build a wall out of scrap cars and gravel bags, a perimeter around a grocery store. That was 2 weeks ago. I still play back the last thing he said. Nate, if you make it through, tell the next world we tried. I wrote it on the wall, big block letters, right next to Theo's drawing. I don't erase names. Never will. We're building a memory here, even if nobody's left to read it. Let's talk about the snow. Yes, snow. Middle of July. And I've been getting consistent reports of snowfall in places that haven't seen flakes in 20 years. Alabama, Central California, coastal Texas. And it's not cold enough. That's the thing. People are saying the snow isn't cold. It lands, sticks to surfaces, but you can hold it in your hand and it won't melt or burn. It just vanishes after a while. Some have tried burning it. Doesn't react. Doesn't drip. One guy says it gave him a rash, like tiny cuts. Another said it whispered when it landed on his roof. I know, it sounds crazy, but the reports are piling up. Same phrasing, same reactions. And this is from people who've never met. Different states, different backgrounds, same descriptions. I think this snow isn't weather. I think it's fallout. But not from nukes or chemicals. From wherever these things are coming from. Maybe when they cross over, it leaves a trace. A dusting of the world they came from. Maybe we're breathing in something we don't even have the words for. I've got a contact in what's left of the Pacific Northwest. Her name's Mara. Ex-military, logistics officer, still sharp. She says there's chatter on the high-frequency bands about an old research station in the Cascades, top of a ridge. Used to be Noe, then transferred to private hands. She thinks it's still transmitting. Short bursts, encrypted, once every 12 hours. And here's the kicker. Every message ends with the same word, tethered. She asked me what I thought it meant. I didn't answer, because I think I know. I think something's anchored here now. I think we pulled it through, and now it can't, or won't, go back. And maybe whatever it is, it's holding the door open for the others. I don't know. I don't know how many of us are left. But I know some of you are still listening, because I just got a message from a group near Asheville. They found an old drive-in theater, still had the screens up. They cleared the field, set up tents, built a central fire pit. Every night, they run one of the old projectors off a hand crank and play old movies for whoever's still walking. No sound, just the image, flickering through the smoke. Last night, they played The Iron Giant. A kid in the group cried. Said he remembered watching it with his dad when things were still okay. And that's the thing, isn't it? That's what makes us different from whatever's out there. They don't remember. They don't grieve. We do. We hold things close even when they're gone. We write names on walls. We play old films. We look up at the sky and wonder if someone's still out there thinking about us too. That's power. Don't let it go. If you're still in a group, start building routines. Make meals, even if it's just crackers. Sing. Whisper stories. Do anything that reminds you you're human. Don't sit in the dark with your eyes wide open waiting for the worst. Live, because they want you still. Frozen. Afraid. They thrive on quiet minds. Don't give them yours. Got another fax? Yes, still working. From someone calling themselves Watcher 6. No name, no location. Just coordinates. Northern Canada. Along with a typed note. Observed breach event. 4:12 local time. Third instance. Sky opened. Sound like ice cracking. Multiple shapes emerged. Antlers, wings, fire in reverse. Air froze. Trees bent. Time paused for 37 seconds. Survivor count. 2. Remaining. Holding position. It read like a mission log. I tried transmitting back, but got nothing. Still, that means someone's tracking this, documenting, maybe even fighting. And that gives me a sliver of something I don't let myself feel often anymore. Hope. It's dangerous. But so is despair. I'll take the risk. Let's finish with this. If you're running low on supplies, keep these options in mind. Burn pine needles for a mild antiseptic vapor. Helps clear airways. Crushed charcoal and cloth can work as a basic water filter. Crank radios can be charged by hand with modified bike wheels. Keep your eyes open for old exercise bikes, gold mines for parts. Use mirrors sparingly. Cover them with cloth if you're not using them. And again, no mirrors after dark. If something speaks in a voice that doesn't breathe, turn it off. Walk away. Do not reply. I'll check the battery again in an hour. If you're alive, write. If you're alone, speak. If you're scared, know that I am too. But I'm still here. This is Nate Rivers. Still scribbling in the dark. Still waiting for the sun to mean something again. It's 12:22 p.m. I just heard something outside. Not a voice. Not metal. Not the wind. It was a bell. Not like a church bell. Smaller. Handheld. A slow, single ring. I didn't go look. I've lived in this place long enough to know that when you hear something you can't explain, especially when it sounds gentle, you don't investigate. That's how they get you. And I've said this before, but I'll say it again. If you hear something comforting, your mom's voice, your favorite song, wind chimes, birds chirping in the wrong season, do not move toward it. They know what you miss. They know how to dress up pain in your oldest memories. I'm still shaking. God. Anyway, I want to talk about the sky. We used to trust it, didn't we? Weather might mess with your picnic, but it was dependable. Clouds meant rain. Clear skies meant peace. Now it lies. Someone from Utah sent me photos before the net went down. Taken with a disposable camera. A real one, film and all. No filters, no glitch. The sun had rings, like Saturn. 3 black halos, spinning, slow. She said the light bent around them, that people nearby said it gave them headaches. That one man walked into a lake and never came out. I've been watching the sun here too. Yesterday it blinked, just for a second. But it did. There was light, then none, then back again. And nothing on Earth does that. Not clouds, not eclipses. This was the sun, closing its eyes, and I don't think it was alone. Okay, focus. Got some messages. One from East Texas, Brenda. She says her town's completely empty now. Stores unlocked, cars abandoned, food still rotting on shelves, but no bodies. None. No sign of struggle either. Like everyone just vanished at the same time. She's alone now. Lives in the high school gymnasium. Solar panels on the roof. Water barrels in the locker rooms. Her dog's still with her. Name's Chips. Says he growls every time the radio picks up static. She listens with the volume low. Smart. Brenda, if you're hearing this, you're doing everything right. Keep the doors locked. Keep the salt line fresh. And don't break the mirror near the front office. That's how they get in. I don't even know how I know that. Let's talk about frequencies. I've had more people write in about strange signals. Not just shortwave now. Even AM/FM bands are warping. There's a pattern. Starts with dead air, then tones. 4 pulses. Same as before. Then whispers. Some say they recognize the voices. Others say it's a foreign tongue, one they feel more than hear. A man from St. Paul sent in a sample. I played it once. It made me cry. Not sad crying. Just raw, involuntary sobbing. My throat locked up. I felt like I was 5 years old, standing at the edge of a cliff, watching something beautiful fall and knowing I couldn't catch it. I deleted the file. If you're recording these things, don't play them back. Archive them if you must, but don't listen twice. And don't translate. You don't want to know what they're saying. Another message. This one's weird. From a guy calling himself Rust. Says he's been traveling east from Arizona in an old armored RV, painted black. Said he's seen the same man in a beige coat standing on the side of the road at least 6 times, hundreds of miles apart. Same clothes, same beard, same green eyes. He never moves, just watches as Rust drives by. Never speaks, never blinks. But every time Rust passes him, the air smells like sulfur. The weirdest part? He caught a picture on an old Polaroid. And when he looked at it an hour later, the man wasn't there. But the camera had burned a ring into the film, like someone pressed a cigarette into it. He mailed the photo. I'm looking at it right now. It's hard to look at. My eyes keep sliding off. I've got it pinned under a book just in case. If anyone else has seen the man in the beige coat, let me know. Maybe he's watching for a reason. All right, a few quick bulletins before I check the panels again. Group near Boise reports new mutation in the fog. It sticks to clothing and whispers in sleep. Burn your clothes if it follows you inside. Woman from southern Georgia swears by vinegar spray. Says it clears the air, makes it harder for them to linger. Could be worth testing. Another group in Ontario says they've found a safe zone. Old hydro station built like a bunker. They're letting people in, slowly. If you're north and can travel, follow the river markings. They've drawn circles around safe paths in blue chalk. Also, I need to say something about time again. I said this earlier, but it's getting worse. A woman from Colorado Springs said she lost 12 hours in the blink of an eye. She was making tea. Then it was night. The kettle hadn't boiled yet, but her candles had burned down. Her clothes were different. She had dirt on her hands and a number written on her arm. 517. She doesn't remember writing it. That's the second time someone's mentioned 517. It showed up in a dream log from someone in Chicago, and again in a diary page faxed from Pennsylvania. No context, just the number. Over and over. If you're hearing this and that number means something to you, tell me. I'm collecting patterns. They matter now more than ever. You know what I miss? Music. I haven't played a record since the third day of the blackout. Every time I did, the signal got unstable. Once I tried playing Bowie and the lights dimmed halfway through Life on Mars. Felt like a warning. But I miss it. I miss sound that wasn't trying to pull us apart. If you've got music, hum it, whisper it, share it with your people, teach it to your kids. Let it live. Let it carry on. That's rebellion now. That's war. All right. Battery's slipping again. I've got maybe 30 minutes left unless the clouds clear and let the sun hit full. I'll be back on as soon as I can. This is Nate Rivers, still watching the skies, still hearing bells, still writing the world down before it forgets itself. It's 1:07 p.m. The clouds haven't moved in hours. That's not poetic. That's literal. I've been watching the sky since I came off the last broadcast, and they haven't shifted an inch. They're just stuck. Like someone froze a frame and forgot to press play. I used to think stillness meant safety. Now it feels like the breath before something terrible. I don't know what's holding them up there, but I don't think it's weather. I think it's watching us. All right. Got a few things I need to say quickly before the power dips again. First, a warning. This came in from several different groups: Montana, Oklahoma, Lower Missouri. There's something new. They're calling it the howler. And I wish that name was just dramatic. I really do. But everyone describes it the same way. A sound, not a scream, not a roar, not animal, not machine, something in between. They say it doesn't hurt your ears. It hurts your mind, like it gets inside and starts pulling on the parts of you that aren't physical. Your memories, your fears, your regrets. One person said they forgot the face of their child for a full hour after hearing it. Just blank. Nothing. Like it had been cut out of their brain with scissors. Someone else said they bit through their tongue and didn't realize it. The howler doesn't show up. It just announces itself. Then things get weird. If you hear it, don't run. Don't scream. Don't react. Get as deep underground as you can. Cover your ears. Human. Pray. Do whatever it takes to anchor your sense of self. Because whatever the howler is, it's not trying to kill you. It's trying to unmake you. God. Okay. Next. I got a signal from someone out east. Maryland, I think. They were in a group of 15. Traveling by night. Sleeping underground during the day. They found what looked like an old fallout shelter under a church. They went inside. only 3 came out. The person who messaged me, name withheld, said there was something carved into the inside of the shelter's door, in blood. It said, "We opened it." She didn't say what it was. Maybe she doesn't know. But something in my gut tells me this whole thing, whatever's happening across the world, it's not some random crack in reality. It's a door, and someone opened it on purpose. I want to tell you about a town called Elbridge. You won't find it on many maps. Somewhere in Idaho, tucked between hills that don't get much sun. They went dark a week before the event. No calls, no mail, just gone. I got a shortwave message yesterday. A woman's voice. Very calm. "This is Elbridge. We're still here, but it's not the same. We see the world, but it doesn't see us. If you hear this, don't come. Not because we'll hurt you, because you won't leave. We're tethered now." Then the signal died. Tethered. That word again. Elena said it. The people in Ontario said it. And now Elbridge. What does it mean? I keep going back to the idea of anchors, like reality's a fabric and something's hooked into it, pulling, twisting, knotting it in ways that make space and time buckle. Maybe these things can't move freely unless they're tethered to something on this side. A person, a place, a memory. Maybe we're the rope. I don't know, I just know it's getting worse. I saw a car moving earlier. First one in days. Didn't hear it. It was electric, some fancy sedan. Windows tinted black. It drove past the station, slow and smooth, like nothing was wrong. I waved. No response. I walked up to the road, hiding behind the side entrance. Watched it drive down to the corner and stop. The brake lights came on. And it just sat there. No one got out. No engine sounds. Just red lights, glowing. 5 minutes. Then 10. Then 20. I stopped watching. An hour later, it was gone. If anyone else has seen a silent car with black windows, let me know. That wasn't right. Okay. Time for another round of practical survival notes. I know these feel small in the middle of all this, but they matter. They're how we claw our way through each day. If your food smells sweet and it's not supposed to, don't eat it. I've had 3 reports of contaminated supplies. They looked fine, sealed and everything. But once opened, the air inside carried something like rotting flowers. One person passed out. The others started repeating themselves for hours. Don't risk it. Tin foil on your windows. I know it looks paranoid, but people say it helps with the static, cuts down interference, maybe even blocks whatever energy these things ride on. Salt. Again. Line your doors, your windows, but also the soles of your shoes if you're walking at night. I've got one guy swearing it saved his life. Said he stepped in something dark, a shadow, a puddle, he doesn't know, and the salt hissed. Whatever it was, let go. If you hear laughter and there's no one around, leave immediately. Doesn't matter what time, doesn't matter where, laughter is a trap. I got another drawing from Theo. Same kid. Same hand-drawn letter. He said, "Mr. Nate, I drew the thing I saw in my closet. It's rough. Crayon and pencil. But it's not just a monster. It's something wearing his father's coat. The eyes are all wrong. Way too big. And the hands? Way too many fingers." At the bottom, he wrote, "I didn't open the door. I think it's proud of me." Kid's stronger than most adults I know. If you're still out there, Theo, your name's still on my wall. Big letters, green ink, right next to the spiral we've been tracking. You're part of the story now. We all are. Okay. One last thing before I cut out and give the battery a breather. Someone said they've found something in the woods near Boise. A circle of stones, big ones, arranged in perfect symmetry, too perfect to be natural. Carvings on each one, not letters, shapes, patterns, like they vibrate when you look at them too long. They camped nearby. Said the air felt clean. Still. No voices, no shadows, just silence. The good kind. If that place is real, maybe it's sacred. Maybe it's left over from something older than all this. Maybe not everything that's ancient wants us dead. If you're near Boise, look for it. And if you find it, write me. We need something to believe in. Even if it's just a circle of stones. This is Nate Rivers. Still watching the frozen clouds. Still hearing the bell that hasn't rung again. Still praying to something I don't believe in that this signal keeps holding. Hold fast. Don't let go. It's 2:01 p.m. Battery's holding better than I expected. That's rare. I'm trying to take it as a good sign. Not that anything makes sense anymore, but when something works, I let it feel like a small win. Those matter now. The light outside hasn't changed. Still overcast. Still pale. Still stuck. I think time's folding here. That's not a metaphor. I've had 3 people from within 100 miles say their watches are going in loops. Not dying, not breaking, just repeating the same 12 minutes. Over and over. One guy says he's lived the same moment 4 times now. The smell of toast. The chirp of an old radio. Then silence. Then it begins again. He's stopped trying to fight it. Says he's writing poetry with each loop, memorizing it, leaving it behind in notes that he buries under his porch. He figures eventually someone will dig them up in a world that makes sense. I don't know if that's madness or the purest form of hope I've ever heard. His name's Elias. If you're hearing this, Elias, keep writing. Somebody will read it. I promise. I want to talk about a different kind of disappearance, not people. Places. There's a town, was a town, called Red Hollow, Indiana. I say was because it's gone. I mean that literally. Satellite images from before the blackout showed it. Clear as day. Gas station, school, a little lake with docks. Now it's not on any map. And people who lived nearby say the road signs have changed. One day, they pointed to Red Hollow, 12 miles ahead. The next, they pointed nowhere. The signs are blank. The turnoff's gone. I don't mean covered in vines or broken. I mean, gone. One woman drove down the old route and said the trees got taller the closer she got. Like walls. She turned back when the branches started moving against the wind. I tried looking through old directories. Red Hollows listed through 2022. Then nothing. Like the town was erased retroactively. I'm keeping a list now. Places that don't exist anymore. Not destroyed. Not abandoned. Just wiped. Reality's not just cracking. It's editing itself. I wonder what happens to the people who were still inside. Do they go with it? Do they end up somewhere else? Or are they still there, in a version of that town that no longer connects to us? I don't know which answer is worse. Let's shift. I've been avoiding this. I've had a few people write in about something called the Red Mouth. I didn't take it seriously at first. Sounded like urban legend stuff. Old radio boogeyman. You know, Bloody Mary vibes. but I've gotten 7 mentions in 3 days. That's enough to make me sit up. Descriptions vary, but the core is the same. It's a hole in the ground, circular, lined with smooth red stone or flesh. No one agrees. It hums, not loud, but you feel it in your stomach. People say it pulls at them, not physically, emotionally, like it remembers you, like it knows something you did and wants you to confess. One guy said he saw himself reflected in the surface, not his face now, his face as a child, crying. Then it said his name. He ran. He hasn't slept since. If you see something like that, don't go near it. Don't speak to it. Don't touch the ground around it. And above all, don't lean in. Someone else said they threw a rock in and never heard it hit the bottom. Another threw in a recorder and picked up nothing but breathing. Slow, rhythmic. We don't know what's under us anymore. The earth is no longer ours. All right. I got a list of last known signals, sharing these in case anyone recognizes them. 89.7 FM, somewhere in northern Nevada. Looping voice saying, "Under the ash, we wait." 3.66 megahertz shortwave, New York region. Long string of numbers. Repeats every 40 minutes. Maybe coordinates. Station Echo 1 on CB channel 14. Voice sounds like a child, but speaks in binary. It's not a child. Don't answer it. WZ 591, Eastern Seaboard. Last heard 2 days ago. Whispering in multiple languages layered over ambient static. At minute 6:13, the words "join us" appear in reverse. That last one. Don't listen past the 6-minute mark. Just don't. A few quick survival updates. Rainwater's safe only if collected from enclosed surfaces. Open pans are picking up trace biofilm. Not visible, but people are getting sick. Use glass if you can. If not, boil twice. Firewood. Try to use older wood if you have it. Fresh-cut trees might be infected. Yes, you heard that right. Infected. One guy chopped fresh branches and heard whispering when he burned them. Static in the pantry. If your canned goods start humming, don't eat them. Just don't. We don't know what they're getting into, but food's changing too. I've started eating only after I've let it sit in salt water for an hour. Doesn't guarantee anything, but so far, I'm still breathing. Knock on wood. Speaking of which, I heard someone knocking last night. 3 knocks. Slow. Even. Coming from the basement wall. Not the door. The wall. I didn't answer. Didn't speak. Just turned on the emergency light and waited. Nothing happened. But this morning, I found scratches on the outside brick. They weren't from an animal. They looked like fingernails. And next to them, written in ash, was one word. Nate. So yeah, they know I'm here. They know I'm talking, and they don't like it. Too bad. Because I'm not stopping. Not while there's still someone listening. Not while there's still a signal left to ride. This is Nate Rivers, still tracing the shadows, still pinning names to a wall the world wants to forget. Still telling the story, because if we stop telling it, they win. There's a bird outside. I know that doesn't sound like much, but it is. I haven't heard one in weeks. Not since everything started unraveling. But about 10 minutes ago, a single blackbird landed on the rusted antenna just outside the north wall. It didn't sing, just sat there, watched the road. I watched it watching. Then it flew off in a straight line. West. I don't know what that means. Maybe nothing. Maybe it means something's still alive out there. Maybe it means we haven't lost the entire sky. Or maybe it wasn't a bird. Maybe something's learning how to be one. I've been collecting phrases. Little things people say when they try to describe what's happening. Thought I'd read a few. They walk inside your dreams until you start walking theirs. The static comes before the voice, but the voice comes before the thing. I saw my daughter's reflection blink before she did. My watch doesn't keep time anymore, it keeps memory. I think we made the world too loud, and now something louder answered. None of these come from the same people. Different towns, different states, same ideas, same fear, same shape. Something is weaving through our minds, using our thoughts as threads. And the more we think about it, the more it pulls through. We have to be careful what we give attention to. That includes me. I know I've said a lot of details, a lot of stories. Sometimes I wonder if repeating these things is helping, or giving it more shape. But then I think about the silence, and how much worse that would be. A world where no one says anything, no one warns, no one names the dark. I'd rather risk giving it a name than let it take everything without resistance. All right, here's something strange. Got a handwritten map from someone named Riley, out in what's left of Central Oregon. She didn't say how she made the map, just that it came to her in pieces. Dreams, maybe, or memories. She stitched it together on a quilt, then traced the pattern on paper and sent it through one of the relay drops still active out west. The map shows two things: areas marked with spirals, same shape we've been seeing everywhere. These are labeled torn. A single line, bright red, weaving between them. At one point it reads, "Not yet seen." She says she's been following the red line. Every time she camps near it, the world feels quieter, not safe, but less infected. She believes there's a path through this, not to fix it, but to survive it. And I believe her. Riley, if you're hearing this, send updates. Every time you reach another knot in that line, tell me, tell us. We need that line. We need a direction. I got a letter from an old man in Utah. His handwriting is shaky, like his hand had forgotten how to write. Says he used to be a physicist, retired. He's been listening since day 3. Here's what he wrote. This is not invasion. This is awakening. We existed in a shallow pool of order. The tide went out. Now the old shapes can see us. They were never gone, only patient. I read that 3 times. I think he's right. This isn't something arriving. It's something returning. It's older than cities, older than rivers, maybe older than the rules we thought held the world together. There's something primal in how this all feels. Not like science breaking, like myth bleeding through. And now, the myths are walking. I've had people asking me to read a list of safe havens again. Truth is, there aren't many left. But I'll tell you what I've got. That hydro plant in Ontario, still transmitting. Channel 5, encrypted. But you can reach them if you know Morse. Look for blue chalk around the trees. Drive-in theater in Asheville. Last confirmed sighting was 2 days ago. Still playing silent films. Still using the old reels. No known breaches. Stone circle outside Boise. I don't know if it's real, but 3 different travelers said the wind goes silent when you step inside. Could mean something. A convoy headed south from Minneapolis. Group of ex-National Guard calling themselves the Pale Lantern. Rumors say they're looking for a place untouched, somewhere deep in the Badlands. If you're near any of those places, try to reach out. Try to follow the signs. If you hear a voice claiming to be from them, verify it. Don't trust until you're sure. The things pretending to be us are getting better at it. Now, something personal. I used to have a dog. Name was Milo, black mutt, ears too big, always tripping over himself. He died 4 years ago. Cancer. Last night, I heard his bark, outside the window. Same pitch, same wheeze at the end, like when he was older. I almost opened the door. Almost. Then I remembered. The last time I heard that bark was the day I buried him. I sat down, put my hands over my ears, waited. It stopped after 6 minutes. Don't open the door for anything dead, even if it used to love you, especially if it did. They know what we miss. They wear it like skin. All right. Just got a transmission. Scratchy, but clear enough to catch pieces. This is Delta 5, repeating. Atlanta zone breached. No survivors confirmed. Repeat. Zone breached. Relocation failed. Heading north. Following railway. Anyone receiving, respond. Delta 5. If you're hearing this, I'm rebroadcasting your message. Get somewhere with elevation. AM signal might carry better on 1170. If you're heading north, look for Riley's red line. You might find it. You might find her. I've said it before, but I'll say it again. We're not alone. We're scattered. We're scared. But we're still human. And for every shadow that creeps under our doors, every whisper that mimics someone we lost, every rule that no longer works, there's still someone out there lighting a candle, drawing a map, writing a name. Don't let the silence convince you it's over. This is Nate Rivers, still on the wire, still bleeding ink, still naming the storm. It's 4:09 p.m. I heard singing again. Not music, not radio, real voices from the woods east of here. No harmony, just a low chant, repeating a single note, over and over, like they were trying to hold something in place or call something up. I waited 10 minutes, then 15. It didn't stop. So I turned up the emergency tone on the backup speaker, just loud enough to cover the chant. It worked, for a while. Then the voices changed pitch to match it. I cut the speaker off. They stopped a few seconds later. They knew I was listening. Whatever's out there, whatever's becoming us, it doesn't like to be drowned out. It adapts. Fast. If you're hearing similar sounds, you need to drown them with something unpredictable. Human laughter, offbeat claps, the click of old toys, things without rhythm. They don't like chaos, and that might be our only edge. I want to talk about someone named June. She was a school teacher in Arkansas before the blackout. One of her old students managed to reach her through ham radio. Just a brief exchange. But she said something that stuck with me. I don't believe it's the end. I think it's a test. Not of faith, but of memory, of kindness, of of what we do when nothing is watching but ourselves. That hit hard, because it's true. No governments, no systems, no gods showing their faces. Just us, doing what we do when the scorekeepers are gone. I hope we're worth remembering. Here's something strange. 3 separate messages from 3 different places, all within the last 24 hours, describe the same thing. A woman in a white dress walking backward, always backward. Through fields, through ruined towns, even across an empty highway. Her eyes are closed, but when she passes you, you feel watched. Not in your skin, in your thoughts. One person said she passed them while they were hiding under a car. No sound, no footsteps. But after she left, they couldn't remember their own name for 2 hours. Another person tried to stop her, touched her arm. They blacked out, woke up in a different town, 40 miles away. No shoes, blood on their hands. No idea how they got there. If you see her, don't touch. Don't speak. Let her pass. She's not looking for you. But if you make her look, you might not come back. Got a letter from someone who only signed it C. It was mailed weeks ago. Showed up in a transfer box I thought had gone dead. C writes, I've been watching the sky through a pinhole, like the old eclipse trick. Something moved across the sun. It wasn't the moon. It wasn't a satellite. It was something with wings. And I don't mean feathers. I mean sails. Like a jellyfish with teeth. It passed slowly, like it was scanning. I stayed inside for 3 days. I think it saw me anyway. I believe her, because I've seen the same shape. Not that big, but similar. Drifting through clouds without disturbing them, like it was more idea than body. I think the sky is hollow now, and whatever's inside it is starting to leak through. You know what's funny? I used to be scared of dying. Now I'm scared of living wrong. Scared of losing the things that made life more than just breath and hunger. The small stuff. Singing in the shower. Smiling at strangers. Knowing when a smell means home. So I keep a list of those things. I add one every day. Today's is this. The sound of gravel under boots. Because I haven't heard that in a while. And if I do, it might mean someone real is still walking. All right. Another signal just came through. Burst transmission. Location unknown. Signal strong. Words clear. This is the lantern. We are moving south. Numbers low. Spirits high. Carrying stories. Leaving carvings. If you find one, light it. They cannot unmake what is named. The lantern. They've come up before. They leave markings on trees, glyphs that glow when wet. Sometimes they leave a broken piece of mirror behind, not for reflections, for warnings. If the mirror doesn't fog up when you breathe on it, run. Something nearby has taken your place. Got a call from Danny out of Helena. She said she's still got a garden. Still growing carrots in charred and raised beds lined with copper wire. Says the copper hums sometimes, like it's holding something out. She doesn't question it, just plants more seeds. She ended her message with this. The soil still listens. If you're kind to it, it remembers. If you're cruel, it grows something else. Danny, if you're hearing this, you're what I'm fighting for. People like you, stubborn, gentle, still sowing life when death is all around. We need you. We need that reminder that the ground still wants us, if we treat it right. You ever think about how we got here? I don't mean the supernatural stuff. The holes in the sky, the voices in the wires. I mean how much of this started with us not paying attention. Not to science, not to each other, not to the little cracks forming between the things we believed were permanent. We let the world run on autopilot, and now something else is driving. I keep thinking about all the systems we built, how fast they fell apart. Hospitals first, then water, then power, then trust. I wonder if those things fell in that order because that's how we valued them. Maybe if we'd valued trust more, it'd still be around. Maybe not. All right. Rapid fire updates before the light fades. New sightings of the Smiling Man in Kansas, Oklahoma, and West Texas. Same coat, same stance. If he waves, don't wave back. A woman in Alaska says the stars don't match the constellations anymore. She's mapping the new ones. One looks like a spiral. Multiple groups report the smell of burning sugar before a breach. If you smell it, get underground, fast. Children in 3 different states have begun sleep-talking in the same rhythm. 4 clicks, a gasp, then the word, mother. Don't let them finish the sentence. Last one. Someone named Jonah left a message scratched into the side of an old payphone. It just said, I remember the world. Don't let it forget me. I won't, Jonah. I've written your name on the wall. I'll keep saying it until someone else hears. This is Nate Rivers. Still signal bound. Still talking in the dark. Still remembering for the ones who can't anymore. The silence is different now. Not calm. Not peaceful. It's tight. Dense. Like the air's holding its breath. I stepped outside for exactly 1 minute to check the panels. They're still pulling just enough juice to keep this place humming. But when I stood out there, everything felt wrong. Not just quiet. Staged. Like the world was pretending to be normal, just long enough to see if I'd relax. I didn't, because I know the signs now. Still air means one of them passed through recently. Their presence pulls the wind into stillness. The animals hide. The shadows don't move right. The dirt forgets how to make sound. If you feel like the world is holding its breath, don't move. Don't speak. Let it pass. Then count to 9. Not 10. Not 8. 9. Everyone who's come back from the edge says 9's the number that holds. I don't know why, but I trust it now. Let's talk about disappearances. Not people, not whole towns, just hours. You ever lose track of time? Sure you have, but this is different. This is waking up to find out you missed a day, or 5. One man from Tennessee says he went to bed on July 3rd, woke up on July 7th. No memory, no hunger, no beard growth. But there was a note in his handwriting on the fridge. Don't ask. Don't dig. You're safe now. He doesn't remember writing it. He's not sure he wants to. Another message, from someone calling herself Cinder, says she went blind for exactly 11 minutes. Not darkness, just static. White and blue noise inside her eyes. When it ended, she was on a different floor of her building. No idea how she got there. This world isn't just breaking, it's rewriting. You might not even know it happened. That's what scares me most. Not the things we can see, but the edits between what we remember. If you're hearing this, keep a journal. Even if it's just scratches on a wall. Time doesn't run straight anymore. We need our own lines. All right? Got a few more messages to share. One from Carlos in northern New Mexico. He says the stars are gone. Not hidden. Not covered. Gone. He's been watching the sky with a telescope since he was 12. Says it used to be his favorite thing, mapping the constellations, watching for meteors. Now when he looks through the lens, nothing. Just black. Naked eye still shows the stars, but through the scope, emptiness. He thinks they're not really there anymore, just memory, a kind of projection, the sky pretending to still be itself. That makes me feel sick in a way I can't explain. Another message from someone near Lake Michigan, didn't leave a name. She says the water level dropped 6 feet overnight. No quake, no tide shift, just gone. But the worst part isn't that. It's what was under the water. Stone shapes, circles, arches, something like stairs leading down into a pit. She says it goes deeper than any diver could follow, and it hums. She's moving inland. Says she won't live next to that silence again. If you're near a large body of water, watch the shoreline. Not all the monsters are above ground. Let's go lighter for a second. I know, it's rare. But I want to share a win. Got a call from a group in rural Maine. They've built a working windmill. Old school, gear-powered, with a water pump system feeding into a greenhouse. It took them 3 weeks, 7 people, 1 blueprint from a forgotten library. But they did it. They've got potatoes, lettuce, peas, even a couple strawberries. They play cards at night by lantern light. No phones, no radios, except mine. Said listening to this broadcast has become a ritual. They call it the voice between the woods. I'm honored. You're all on my wall now. Every one of you. Marked with a tiny strawberry sticker, because why not? If you're listening, I hope you know how much your small victory means. It's not small at all. It's proof. We can still build. We can still make something that feeds us, even if it's just 1 meal at a time. All right. Back to the weird. I got a note from someone in Nevada. 1 sentence. I saw my own funeral yesterday. I was the only one there. That's it. I don't know what to do with that, but it stayed with me. I think maybe we're all grieving the versions of ourselves that didn't make it. The ones that lived in the old world. The ones that never got tested. That's okay. Grieve them. Then let them go. Because this version, this scared, dirty, scraped up version of you, is still here. And that matters more. Quick check-in on survival tips. Burn sage if you have it. I know, sounds hippie, but I've had 7 reports now of sage driving them back, especially during the 4th hour of night. Keep coins in your pocket. Old ones. Metal. People say they vibrate before a breach. Could save your life. If you see a shadow moving against the wind, don't run toward the light. Get underground. They trap people using false dawn. And if you wake up with dirt on your hands and no memory, don't go back to sleep. Stay awake for 1 full cycle. Whatever wore your body for a while might still be close. I've started sleeping in bursts. 20 minutes max. No dreams. No REM. Just enough to keep breathing. It's working, I think. If you start hearing my voice saying things I don't normally say, cut the radio. That won't be me. One last thing. Got a message from someone named Jonah. not the same one as before. He said, "Their mouths don't open. They open ours." That line's been living in my head all day, because I think he's right. I think these things don't communicate. They infect. They use us to speak, to remember, to open. So stay closed, stay solid, write things down, sing, whistle, clap offbeat, be messy, be unpredictable. They hate that. This is Nate Rivers, still breathing the thin light, still scribbling on the edge, still naming the names they want forgotten. It's 6:12 p.m. The light's gone gray. Not dusk, just gray. Like someone smeared ash across the horizon and forgot to wipe it clean. There's no shadow, no warmth, no real direction. It just hangs there, like the sun lost interest halfway down. I've been pacing the same 3 steps between the transmitter and the wall, waiting for something to happen. Not sure if I want it to, but the silence is starting to feel louder than the screams used to. I think I preferred the screams. At least they meant someone was still trying. I want to tell you about something that came in from the North Dakota border. A man named Lucas was camped out in what used to be a way station, one of those old buildings next to the interstate. Concrete walls, 2 rooms, and a rusted-out radio tower. He said he'd been hearing a sound for 3 nights, a kind of rattling, not metal, not bone, somewhere in between, always just after sunset. So he started marking the time. He left a recorder out one night, played it back in the morning. There was nothing for the first hour, then breathing, then humming, then a voice, his own, saying things he never said, phrases he didn't recognize, memories that weren't his, names he swears he never knew. And when he checked the tape, the recorder had no battery. That's when he left. Said the building felt warm when he packed up, like something had been using it while he slept. I asked him why he hadn't destroyed the tape. He said, "Because I think it's mine now." That haunts me. I've started checking the mic between every broadcast, just to make sure it's not still live when I'm not here. Just to make sure I'm the only one talking. I hope I am. But some nights, I'm not sure. Alright, I've had a few people ask how I'm still broadcasting. The truth is, it's not by design. This station's old. Most of its tech is from before 1990. Analog everything. The kind of stuff that doesn't care if the world's fallen apart. The walls are thick. The wiring was hand-wound. The antennas are old-school directional rigs with mechanical dials. I've got solar panels salvaged from a junkyard down the road, and a backup battery built from scavenged car cells and lawnmower parts. It runs hot, smells like copper, but it works. Most days, I'm not a prepper. I didn't plan this. But I loved old tech. And now, somehow, that love is the only reason this voice is still getting out. There's something poetic about that. Let's talk about maps. I've been marking every place people say has changed. Cities gone. Rivers reversed. Mountains where they shouldn't be. The map looks like a wound now. Long red marks through places we used to trust. Entire states that feel thinner than the others. And here's the worst part. Some places are moving. One guy swore he passed through the same town 3 times on a straight road. Same gas station. Same overturned car. Same graffiti on the wall. You passed through me. He's not crazy. I've had 2 other people say the same thing. We're not walking through space anymore. We're walking through memory, through folded time. And some of those memories loop. Some don't want you to leave. If you start seeing the same place over and over, mark something, a symbol, a smear of ash, your name, something human. Break the loop before it breaks you. Got another dream report from a girl named Samira, 9 years old. Lives with her dad in what used to be a motel. She drew a picture of her dream. It's a tree with arms, not branches, arms. Dozens of them, each one holding something. A shoe, a spoon, a photograph, a knife, a doll. She said the tree whispered all night. It said, "Give me what you can't forget." She woke up holding her mom's necklace, one she hadn't seen in over a year. It was clean, untarnished, like new. Her dad didn't let her keep it. He burned it the next morning. He was crying. If you're hearing this, Samira, you are brave. You're stronger than most of us. Keep drawing. Keep telling us what you see. Sometimes the kids know more than we do. Their minds haven't been edited yet. I got a list of names this hour. People still listening. People still holding the line. Lucas from the way station. Brenda and Chips from East Texas. Theo, of course. My wall wouldn't exist without you. Mara in the Northwest, still bouncing signals from the ridge. The crew at the Windmill Garden in Maine. Still playing cards. Still picking strawberries. Jonah. There's more than one of you now. Different cities. Different tones. Same name? I don't know what that means. But if you're all real, keep speaking. Keep reminding us, because I think names are our last defense. The things out there, they don't have names. They hate the shape of them, the sound of them, the meaning behind them. So say yours often. Write it down, shout it, whisper it, tattoo it if you have to. Be real. That's how we win. Quick warning before I sign off this hour. The mirrors are changing again. I've had 5 different reports today alone. Reflections lagging, moving when you don't, bleeding around the edges, showing someone else standing behind you when you know you're alone. If that happens, cover them. Don't break them unless you have no other choice. Shattering seems to leave residue behind. One woman says the cracks in her mirror whispered her name for an hour after it fell. She threw the shards into a well. The well hasn't stopped ringing since. That's it for now. Battery's warm. I've got maybe 40 minutes before I need to shut it down for the evening charge. If you're still listening, I'm here. Still scratching names onto the edge. Still tracing the old world in rust and memory. Still fighting the edit. This is Nate Rivers. Stay awake. Stay unpredictable. Stay human. The air's gotten sharp. You know how it feels when the weather changes just before a storm? Not the rain, not the wind, that pause, that shift in pressure. Like the whole atmosphere holds still for a beat too long. That's what it's like now. Except there's no storm coming. There's something else. I've lit a candle next to the mic. Not because I need the light. I've got power for now. I lit it because I needed something to push back. Even if it's just a flame. You'd be amazed what a single flame can do in a room full of fear. Okay, I've got updates. First one's from Nevada again. A ranger station near the Ruby Mountains is still standing. Fully analog. Generators. Wood stove. Wind-up radio. There's a woman named Miriam living up there now. Says she's been alone since the third breach. She doesn't trust anyone, won't let people in, but she listens. She said something that made my blood run cold. I watched the horizon blink last night, just once, like the world was tired of seeing us. Then she laughed. She has a good laugh, dry, real. Miriam, if you're listening, you're on the list now. I carved your name into the desk with my house key. It's not much, but it's something. I got another shortwave message from the lantern. Shorter this time. Just 5 words. Following the red, still glowing. No location. But I tracked the signal bounce. It's somewhere near the Mississippi River now. Middle stretch. Maybe close to St. Louis. If they're moving east, they might pass close to the Appalachian Curve. That's where the drive-in group was. God, I hope they find each other. Imagine that. 2 groups, 2 lights, meeting in the dark. It makes something in my chest ache in a good way. Let's talk about the color red. Not blood, not paint. The red that's been showing up in the sky, in dreams, in visions. I used to think it was symbolic. Now I'm not so sure. I've had people describe it like a sheet, like a curtain pulling back, revealing something behind the world. Something older, hungrier, but not evil. Not exactly. Just indifferent. Like fire, or deep water, or the inside of a lion's mouth. It doesn't hate you. It just doesn't care if you burn. There was a woman named Elise in Vermont. She sent a message before the last snowfall. Said she stood in her backyard one night and the sky turned red, and for a moment, she could see everyone she'd ever lost. Her parents, her son, her dog, her high school teacher. They were all standing in a field, facing away from her. She didn't call out, didn't move. She said she knew if she spoke, she'd never be allowed back. The red faded after 2 minutes. She's still here, but she doesn't sleep anymore. Elise, I see you. You did the right thing. No matter how much it hurts, the dead aren't supposed to come back. And if they do, it's not for you. Okay. Rapid-fire bulletins. The spiral symbol is now confirmed in 22 states. If you find one drawn in charcoal, don't touch it. If it's carved, cover it. If it's bleeding, run. A child in Montana drew a door in the snow. The door melted the ice. Inside it was warm. Don't go in. A man in Florida walked into a cave that hadn't existed the day before. Came out with teeth that weren't his. Group in Arizona swears the moon whispered their names during the last eclipse. They've stopped going outside at night. I want to be clear here. Not all of this will make sense. Some of it's metaphor, some of it's madness, some of it's more real than reality. Your job isn't to believe everything. It's to listen, to hold the thread, to tell the next person what you saw. That's how we survive. Not with guns, not with bunkers, with stories. That's how humans have always outlived the darkness. We name it. We pass the name down. We remind each other that the light existed, even if it's just a candle. Even if it's just one. I want to tell you something personal now. There was a night, 2 weeks ago, where I almost gave up. I turned everything off, closed the notebook, powered down the transmitter, sat in the dark with my back to the wall and a cold can of beans in my hand. I didn't eat it. I just stared at the label, read it over and over. Ingredients, sodium content, stamped date. I wanted to see if something so small could remind me what order felt like. It didn't. But then the generator hummed. Just once. Software. Like it was asking if I was still here. And I started crying. Because I was. I still was. And if I was, maybe someone else was too. So I turned everything back on. Started talking again. You don't know how much that moment meant to me. Maybe someone does. Maybe not. But now it's part of the story. And that means it matters. Got one last message before I sign off this hour. A woman in southern Idaho wrote, "The night comes faster now, not just earlier, deeper. I lit a fire and the flames bent away from me. I didn't feel cold. I felt erased. I hear you. I do. And if you're still listening, if the night hasn't taken your name, I've written it down. I've spoken it. You're still real. You still matter. This is Nate Rivers, still naming the red, still walking the spiral backwards, still whispering light into the corners. Stay loud. Stay strange. Stay." It's 8:10 p.m. Something passed overhead a few minutes ago. Didn't see it. Didn't hear it either. But the power dipped. Every single needle on the analog readout froze in place. Not zero. Not maxed. Just stuck, like time forgot what to do with itself. Then they all jumped back into motion. Just like that. But the clock was wrong. Off by exactly 13 minutes. I didn't fix it. I let it stay wrong. Because maybe that's the right time now. I'm not trying to make sense of it anymore. I'm just trying to stay inside the part of the world that still has weight, still has edges, still has names. I want to share a story from someone named Ivy. She's 17, lives, or lived, in Wisconsin. Sent a handwritten letter scanned through one of the relay posts we still have active. Here's what she wrote. "I don't know how long it's been. Days don't act like days anymore, but I still mark them on the wall with pieces of charcoal. I ran out of food yesterday. Thought I was going to give up. Then I remembered my grandma's cellar. I never liked going down there. Always smelled like old fruit and spiders. But I went. I found cans, jars, and her old tape recorder. It still worked. I played the only tape left inside. It was her voice, humming. Nothing else. I sat in the dark and cried. Then I ate peaches from a jar and decided I'd live another day, just because she sang. Please keep talking, Nate. Your voice is a ladder. Some of us still need to climb. Ivy, your name's on the wall now. Big letters, next to the candle, above the place where the paint peeled after the breach. You're part of the map, and I'll keep talking as long as this signal lets me. All right, time for some weirdness. I've gotten 5 reports now of the same phrase appearing in unexpected places. Written in frost on windows, scratched into bark, drawn in dust on the backs of mirrors. Here's the phrase, "We were here first." That's it. Simple. Director. But who's we? Not us. I don't think so. The timing doesn't line up. These messages aren't carved by hand. They appear instantly, and in some cases, while people are watching. One man said he was shaving when it appeared in the fog on his bathroom mirror. No one else in the house. No hands. No sounds. Just there. He didn't finish shaving. He hasn't looked in that mirror since. I don't blame him. If anyone knows what that phrase might mean, let me know. I've got a theory, but I'm not ready to say it out loud yet. Some things aren't ready to be named. Let's talk about dreams again. I keep circling back to them because people keep sending them. They're clearer than memories now. A man named Reese, Oklahoma, says he dreamed of a library built into the side of a mountain. Every book was blank, except one. When he opened it, it had his name on the first page. Just that. Nothing else. He says when he touched the page, he heard his mother's voice. She's been gone 10 years, saying, "You were always meant to carry the story." He woke up holding a pen. It wasn't his. It still had ink. He's been writing ever since. I think the dreams are trying to give something back. Not all of them. Some are traps. Some are echoes. Some are just static wearing a human face. But some might be real. And if they are, we need to listen. I got another lantern signal. This one's a whisper. Barely there. Almost lost it in the feedback. Turning west. Avoiding the glass field. Glass field. That's new. I looked through some older messages. Found one from months ago. Someone mentioned a field in Wyoming that shimmered at night. Looked like frozen dew, but never melted. Even in the heat. Said it hummed when you walked through it barefoot. No one ever found the end of it. Maybe it's grown since then. If you're near anything that looks like that, don't enter. Don't even throw something into it. We don't know what's on the other side. And sometimes, it's better not to find out. Okay. Quick update on defenses. Yeah, we still use that word. It helps us feel like we have a say in what stays and what doesn't. Copper wire, wrapped around windows, is showing consistent resistance to breaches. Doesn't block sound, but interferes with physical passage. Garlic in door frames, not just a myth. One man swears it stopped something from stepping through his hallway. The garlic rotted instantly afterward. Crushed seashells around a bed. Yes, really. A mother in South Carolina did this for her daughter. Says the girl hasn't sleepwalked since. And my favorite, chalk stars, drawn in random patterns, not constellations. Make them ugly, asymmetrical, wrong. They disrupt the mimicry, at least temporarily. I've drawn 4 around the broadcast booth. They look ridiculous. They're keeping me alive. Let's talk about mirrors. I said earlier not to break them unless necessary. But if you have to, do it with intention. Say your name while it shatters. Name yourself loud and clear. Don't let the glass tell your story. Tell it first. That's what the old world never taught us. How to name ourselves before someone else did. Okay. Let me read one more message before I power down for the hour. This came from, I don't know where. No name, no signal stamp. Just this. There's a well that echoes before you speak. It remembers what you were going to say. It's waiting for the version of you that would have chosen different. When you look down, it blinks. I don't know what to do with that. But I'm adding it to the wall. Because all of this, every weird, cracked, beautiful, broken detail, it's part of the new map. We're not cartographers anymore. We're storytellers holding a flashlight in the fog. And every time we speak, we light a little more of the road. This is Nate Rivers, still whispering, still burning the map just to see the edge. Still here. It's 9:03 p.m. The world's gone soft around the edges, Like the air lost its sharpness. Everything's blurry. Even the light bulb above me has a halo around it. I thought I was just tired. Maybe I am. But then I stepped outside for 10 seconds, and the moon was wrong. It was too close. I don't mean bigger. I mean closer. Like I could see detail I've never seen with the naked eye. Craters, ridges, a shimmer that moved like skin. I blinked, and it was normal again. Or pretending to be. I came back inside, locked the door, lit 3 candles instead of 1. Tonight feels wrong in a new way. But I'm still here. And as long as I'm here, you'll have this voice. Let's talk about the roads. People are saying the roads are changing. Not just the routes. The roads themselves. A woman outside of Tulsa says she drove on a highway that stretched longer the faster she went. She tested it. Drove 30 miles per hour. Took her 2 hours. Drove 70. Took her 4. Same start, same end, different time. She said the scenery repeated. Same billboard, same dead deer, same crow watching her go by. She drove backwards for half an hour, wound up back at her start point with a new scar on her hand. She doesn't know how she got it. I've had others mention similar things. The yellow lines on some highways now form patterns, not just stripes, shapes, sigils, even. One guy followed a spiral on a road in Montana for 3 hours. Lost signal, lost sunlight. When he finally stopped, his odometer said 0, but his fuel tank was empty. If you're driving, keep it slow. Keep it messy. Swerve sometimes. Turn off your GPS. It doesn't know where you are anymore. The roads remember who built them, and they don't like being lied to. Quick bulletin. Salt isn't lasting as long anymore. Reports from multiple camps say the line fades faster than it used to. Some say it even burns up on its own. Like something is testing its strength. If your salt is going black, replace it. Don't ignore it. Someone asked me recently, why do these things hate salt? I don't know. Maybe because salt is ancient. Untamed. The last real thing we still carry that hasn't been digitized or replicated. It's old world. It was traded for gold. Buried with pharaohs. Used to seal blood oaths. They can't mimic it. That's probably reason enough. I got a note from someone in upstate New York. He said he buried a photo of his family under a tree just to hide it from the eyes he keeps seeing in the windows. Said he felt safer once it was underground. But then the roots grew fast. Overnight. And the next morning, the photo was back on his doorstep. Face up. Untouched. He burned it. I don't know if that was the right choice, but I understand it. Sometimes the past is the sharpest weapon they use. They don't need to kill us. They just need to remind us of what we've lost. Let's talk about statues. Yeah, that's not something I ever thought I'd say in an emergency broadcast, but here we are. People are seeing statues where there shouldn't be any. Old ones, covered in moss, built from black stone that doesn't match the local rock. They're showing up overnight. No signs of tools, no tracks around them, just standing in fields, at rest stops, in grocery store parking lots. Most have no faces, some have too many. And here's the part that messes with me. Several people say the statues are warm. One guy put his hand on the surface, said it pulsed like a slow heartbeat. He tried to destroy it. Sledgehammer cracked, but the statue didn't. He's gone now. If you see one, don't touch. Don't stare too long. If it faces east, walk west. If it faces west, walk north. I know that sounds like superstition, but this isn't science anymore. This is survival. Another message from a place no one can agree on. 5 different survivors, 5 different towns, all describing the same building. A diner, always on the corner, neon sign that says open. No matter what time you enter, it's always 3:33 a.m. inside. The jukebox is playing the same song, Blue Moon. You sit. The waitress comes. You order. She nods, brings you what you ask for. But the food doesn't taste right. Not bad, just like a memory someone else had of the meal. No one's ever seen the cook. No one's ever seen the parking lot from the window. And when you leave, you're somewhere new. Not just a new town, sometimes a new decade, sometimes not Earth. If you find that diner, eat, thank the waitress, leave a tip, then walk out backwards. That's the only way to return close to where you came from. Let me read you a poem. Yeah, a poem. Came in from a girl named Allie, 11 years old, hiding with her brother in a storage unit somewhere near Phoenix. She wrote it on cardboard and mailed it to one of the old USPS drop boxes that someone reactivated. Here it is. The sky is tired. It forgets to shine. So we draw stars with chalk and spit and pretend we're still part of the story, not the smudge at the end. I cried when I read that. Still do. Allie, you're not a smudge. You're the sentence we keep reading. Okay. Short tech tip before I go quiet for the next hour. If your radio starts echoing when it shouldn't, turn it off immediately. That's not interference. That's something copying you. The echo will get closer each time, and if it starts answering before you speak, it's already inside. This is Nate Rivers, still tracing shadows, still writing poems on the walls with names, still choosing to stay real, even when the world isn't. Talk soon. It's 10:07 p.m. I just watched my own shadow move without me. It wasn't subtle. I leaned down to grab a paper clip from the floor. The light overhead never shifted. But on the wall, the shadow of me stayed standing. Hands at my sides, head tilted slightly, like it was waiting for me to notice. I froze, stayed bent over, heart thudding in my ears. Then it raised its arm and pointed at the window. I turned. Nothing outside. When I looked back, the shadow was mine again. I don't know how long I sat there after that. I haven't moved since. I don't think I'll sleep tonight. Anyway, let's talk about breath. People are saying they're hearing it in strange places, in vents, in microwaves, in unplugged phones. The sound of breathing right next to their ear, but never their own. It's never fast, never panicked. Just steady, measured, like something practicing. A woman near Cincinnati says she recorded the sound on an old tape deck, played it back. There was no breath, but there was a heartbeat. Not hers. And the longer she listened, the more she started matching its rhythm. Her own pulse shifting to fit the beat. She smashed the tape, but she still hears it at night. Same tempo. If you're hearing breath that doesn't belong to you, don't echo it. Don't match it. Break the rhythm. Sing something off-key. Cough. Scream. Do anything to keep your body yours. They want to harmonize. Don't let them. Got a report from someone outside Reno. They've set up a camp in a junkyard. Says the rust helps. Says the metal's too old to lie. That's their phrase, not mine. but I like it. They sleep in old cars, surrounded by stacks of broken refrigerators and engine blocks. The air smells like oil and rot, but nothing's gotten in. They've named the place the Yard. If you're nearby and you're listening, they're taking in survivors. No digital devices allowed. You bring one, they strip it. You complain, they turn you away. They've got a fire pit, 3 working flashlights, and a rule: don't dream out loud. I asked what that meant. They said people who talk about their dreams too much stop dreaming entirely. Then one day, something else dreams in their place. Let's talk about light. It's not behaving like it used to. I've had several people describe shadows falling in the wrong direction, flashlights casting silhouettes that bend toward the source. One guy in Idaho says his campfire's glow is shrinking each night, like it's being pulled inward. He piled more wood on, got bigger flames, but the light still only reaches a few feet. Then he noticed something. When he whispered his name into the flames, the light pushed back. Just a little. He says he does it every night now. Just once. Stares into the fire and reminds it that he's real. I believe in that. In naming. In the power of hearing yourself say, I'm still here. It matters. Say your name every morning, every night. Say it like a weapon, like a ward, because it might be the only thing that still belongs to you. Quick survival check. Rice stored in cloth sacks seems less likely to rot than plastic. Boil water twice if it tastes metallic. If it still does, don't drink it. Some metals we've never named are showing up now. If your reflection starts smiling before you do, cover the mirror. Speak your name backward. Yes, backward. Do it once. Slow. If you hear someone knocking and they don't say your name, don't answer. If they do say your name, wait 5 seconds before replying. The real ones will ask twice. The fake ones only once. I've been collecting these small laws. The world doesn't follow physics anymore, so we make new rules. They aren't perfect, but they've kept people alive. And that's what this is. Not a manual, not a cure, just a thread. And if you're still listening, you're part of it. Got a shortwave hit from someone in Montana. Single sentence. The wind stopped and never started again. No signature. I don't think it was poetic. I think it's literal. He's not the first to say it. Air goes dead. Clouds freeze. Trees stop swaying. Then the world gets quiet in a way that hurts. Someone once said silence is just the sound of everything waiting to break. I think we're living in that moment now. The break hasn't come yet, but the breath before it is stretching. You can feel it in your teeth. I can, anyway. Something's pressing against the edge. I don't know if it's a god or a ghost or something we dragged up from our own nightmares, but I know this. It's waiting for us to say yes. So don't. No matter what it offers, no matter who it looks like, no matter how tired you are, don't say yes, not even once. All right? Closing out for the hour. Batteries draining slow tonight. Maybe the air's helping. Maybe the silence is giving me time. This is Nate Rivers. Still lighting candles. Still naming the rules. Still dancing off beat so they don't learn my steps. Keep moving. Keep misbehaving. Keep human. It's 11:16 p.m. I'm still here. Signal's holding. but the static's gotten sharp, like something's scratching at the edge of the frequency. I turned the dials twice, checked the antenna line. Everything's fine on my end, but something's listening now. Not just hearing, listening. I can feel it every time I pause, like it leans in, waiting for the spaces between the words. So tonight, I won't give it silence. I'll keep talking. Let's talk about thresholds. Places where one thing becomes another. Doorways, bridges, tunnels. These used to just be functional, but now they're thin. I've had reports from people who stepped into one room and found themselves in another house, another town, another version of their life. One woman says she walked through her closet door and found herself in a classroom she hasn't seen since she was 9. Same smell, same chalkboard, same bruises on her knees from the time she tripped on picture day. She sat in her old chair. There was a version of her sitting there already, smiling. She backed out, closed the closet, hasn't opened it since. If your threshold flickers, light shifting, air going cold, don't cross, not until you're sure it's still your side. If you're not sure, leave something behind before you step through. A button, a note, a hair, something small, something real. So if you don't come back, you'll know what version of you made it through. Got a signal from Utah, man calling himself Pastor Gray. Not a real pastor, just a name that stuck. He said he's built a chapel out of stones. No roof, just open sky and walls that hum when it rains. He holds service every third day. Reads old stories. People come. Not many. 4 or 5. They don't talk about doctrine or salvation. They talk about how to stay kind when kindness gets you nothing. How to keep feeding the people who have nothing left to give back. He said this on the air, and I wrote it down. Every day the dark gets louder. So we have to be louder still. Not with shouting, with quiet courage, with names, with stories, with memory. You're on the wall now, Gray, right under Ivy's ladder. We're building something here. Brick by invisible brick. I got a message from someone who found a room that doesn't belong to their house. They moved in after the event. Old apartment building. Nothing fancy. But 2 weeks ago, they noticed the number of doors had changed. There used to be 5. Now there are 6. The 6th door is made of wood they don't recognize. It's warm to the touch. There's no knob, no hinges. But sometimes, it's open a crack. Just enough to see light that pulses like a heartbeat. They've started sleeping in the hallway. That door wasn't built by hands. If it shows up in your place, don't go near it. Don't knock. Don't listen. Doors are supposed to lead somewhere. This one leads inward, and you might not like what's living inside you. Switching gears. Here's a checklist that came in from a woman named Luan, hiding somewhere north of Seattle. Bury mirrors face down. Rotate shoes outside your shelter. Don't let them learn your walk. Sleep at different times each night. Patterns invite guests. Do not let anything that looks like your pet into the room. Salt doesn't last forever. Neither does memory. Write names down. When in doubt, laugh, even if it hurts. That last one got me. It always feels wrong to laugh now. But maybe that's exactly why we should. Maybe laughter's the one frequency they still can't mimic. It's not coded. It's not logical. It's messy. It stutters. It bursts out when we least expect it. They don't understand it. so do it often, even if it's bitter, even if it sounds cracked. I got a scribbled note in a Dropbox near Denver. No name. Just this: time is peeling. I saw a man eat a sandwich before he made it. I saw my own footsteps appear in front of me. I think we're walking through a memory that forgot its shape. I don't know how to respond to that, except to say, I've seen it too. The other day, I looked out the window and saw myself leaving the building, wearing the shirt I wore last week. Same limp, same gait. He didn't look up. He didn't vanish. He just walked away. If that was me, I don't know what I'm doing now. If that wasn't me, I don't want to know who it was. Reality's loosening. We're living in threads, not timelines. All we can do is pull the one we're holding and hope it doesn't snap. Short updates. The town of Argus, Illinois, is no longer showing up on printed maps. People who live near it say the signs still exist, but the GPS doesn't. The mail skips over it. Trains pass through and come out cleaner than they went in. Someone in Maine found a road made of teeth embedded in asphalt, still white, still intact, no blood, just molars and canines and wisdoms stretching for half a mile. Don't follow it. Multiple reports now of people hearing music through the soil, not in headphones, through the ground. If you put your ear to the dirt, you'll hear what you think is your favorite song. But if you sing along, something else joins in. Don't sing along. Ever. Before I sign off tonight, I want to say something to the ones losing hope. I know what it feels like. I've felt it too. When the lights flicker, when the mirror smiles, when the knocking doesn't stop. But I'm still here, and so are you. We're still making noise, still leaving footprints, still writing names into the parts of the world that haven't collapsed, and that counts. Even if the stars disappear, even if the road loops forever, even if the sky forgets our faces, we're here. This is Nate Rivers. Still saying the names, still dragging the light forward one syllable at a time, still refusing to fall silent. Stay loud, stay strange, stay real.